Thank you for joining me as I break down the good, the bad of Raising Dion Season 2. Is it better than Season 1 or is it more the same? Let's talk about it. Just to go over the premise of Raising Dion really quickly, in Season 1, we discovered Dion has powers and it came from his father, who's played by Michael B. Jordan, after a supernatural event that happened in the North Pole, gave a bunch of people powers. Nicole, his single mother, now is trying to figure out how to raise Dion while he has all these different powers and growing and with all the hormones, and he's trying to become his own man since his father's died, while there's this mysterious crooked man who's the best friend of their father who wants to steal Dion's powers. In Season 1, in that grand finale, his father reappears and helps him defeat the crooked man. Where Season 2 picks up is 2 years after that. Dion's a little older, Nicole's in a new place, and the crooked man is nowhere to be seen. But new threats arise as a new kid who shows some nefarious interest in Dion joins his class and try to befriend him. Let's talk about the good. Right off the bat, I want to talk about how the scope of the show, the music, the cinematography, just the production and the budget into this show was much better than Season 1, where it felt very limited in Season 1 and they only had a select amount of spaces they could go. Dion and his mother and everybody else goes to more different varied locations, and the power sets and the way the powers look much better this season and executed in a more interesting way. And that is highlighted by the addition of other powered people other than Dion and the crooked man. We have some new characters that are powered. One named Tevin, who is Dion's new trainer, helping him trying to hone in on all these different powers that he has, creates force fields and can protect himself and others in many different ways. He's this really cool dude that Dion can now connect with out against without the worry of hurting him. And he also develops this romantic relationship with his mother, Nicole, as well. And then there's another character named Janelle who has explosive power that can manipulate matter, but she's very shy and very withdrawn. And that character gets a lot of development as the series is going on, as she starts to connect with Dion's mother and Dion himself. As I mentioned in the intro, there's a new kid in town named Brayden, and I swear they picked the most school shooter looking kid they could possibly find. He looks like he listens to Pump Up Kids every day on the school bus before he heads to school. The actor who plays Brayden does a really good job of playing this really scary looking kid who shows just nefarious interest in Dion and continues to stare at him no matter what until Dion decides, I'm just going to talk to this kid. And they slowly start befriending each other, and we start to see more aspects of what this kid is about and what he's trying to do and the powers that he has. Josiah Young, the young actor that gets to play Dion, gets to do a lot more in this season. A lot of more emotional moments, a lot of more moments where he gets to act. And he's just a cute, adorable, relatable kid. He executes all those kid jokes when they say things very honestly to adults, and it takes you aback and make you laugh because it's like, damn, you have no filter. And he does a great job of displaying all the emotions that he needs to do, especially when he is going back and forth with an adult and going back and forth with Brayden. He does a great job of showing the purity in his heart, but Brayden also does a good job of making him sway the other way. It was a good balance of good and bad in ideology, but done in a way that made sense for kids. Comparing things like Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, who's cooler, Kylo Ren versus Rey, things like that, where it's like for adults, you understand where they're going, but they're doing it in a very kiddish way. I liked the emotional moments he had with his mother throughout this season. They had a very serious topic that was going on in the later half of the season where they thought they were going to be separated, which was done very, very well. And I got to act, Alicia, who plays Nicole, got to do a lot more this season than she did in the first season. She really was just a naggy mom who was stopping Dion for using his powers and doing all the cool things. This season, she gets to be more in the action. She's now part of Biona, the people who study the power people, the people who are helping develop Dion's powers, now an advocate for them, which is weird because she also has a distrust for them because of the Crooked Man and how he was a close friend to her and her husband, and he betrayed him, and now she has a side eye for anybody that has powers that's trying to get close, which creates a weird dynamic between her and Tevin, who she's clearly attracted to, but doesn't want to fully bring it into her circle because he has powers. Other returning characters are his bully turned friend Jonathan and the always adorable Esperanza, who gets to do a little bit more in this season as well. She's putting on a play for everyone that they get to sing and dance in, and she forces her friends to be in the play as well because she does things for them. They got to do things for her. That's ride or die friend right there. And while all the characters, motives, and actions are cute and fun, and sometimes goes down a little bit of a dark path, the show is always at peak when it's Nicole and Dion having those great mother and son moments. These two have really good chemistry bouncing off each other. Josiah playing Dion gets to really flex his muscles a bit when in acting form, and he does a great job of doing all the action sequences as well. And also Nicole gets to get into some of the action as well because she picked up kickboxing, because the main plot here is that Brayden is trying to sway Dion to the dark side, but Dion is kind of like, hey, I have another kid that has powers. My cool friends that I love can't fully understand what I'm going through, but this kid does. But he slowly realized that he has ulterior motives. And while Dion's dealing with that, the Crooked Man shows back up, but he's not the same person as he was before. So now this creates another mystery that they have to deal with within the show. And with that, let me transition to the bad. This continuing about the plot. I feel like they didn't have enough plot to support the episode lengths and how many episodes there was. I feel like some of the episodes were kind of going in a wheel, and we were dealing with certain topics over and over again. Who's the Crooked Man? Why is the original Crooked Man alive but doesn't have the powers? What is Brayden doing, and what is he trying to do with Dion? What is Nicole gonna do now that Tevin has powers and she wants to date him or not? And that going on and on and on. And then something happens to her where that lasts a couple episodes. They kind of drag that a little bit, even though it was done very well. It was dragged along longer than it had to be. So that's one of the things I could say that was a negative, that I feel like it didn't have enough story to support all the episodes, even though I still enjoyed it. Also, the acting throughout the season was pretty good, but when the kids were left alone to carry a scene, you can tell that they were inexperienced and they needed an adultier adult next to them to help them rein it in and keep the energy in the scene. A lot of scenes where it was just them and it went on for longer than 30 seconds fell flat. And while the big showdown at the end between Dion, the Crooked Man, and Brayden and all these other creatures that pop up in the show because of all these anomalies is done very, very well, they kind of jumped the shark a little bit while having Nicole be in the action. Dion has powers, Tevin has powers, Janelle has powers, but she doesn't. So it didn't really make any sense for her to be involved. I understand that they didn't want her just to be on the sidelines, and because she's a co-star, she's a co-lead, but the things that she was doing didn't quite make a lot of sense. So you have to suspend a little bit of your belief there when watching those sections. Let's talk about my verdict, how I overall feel about the show. I do think that this was an improvement over season 1. Better acting, better budget. I think an overall better story because they had a lot of world building with new characters that have powers and some scientific things that they discovered about people with powers that can change and build the world out, can make the show feel kind of like an X-Men kind of show if they continue and push it forward that way. So that really piqued my interest for season 3, and overall I really enjoyed the show. It's just a nice, cute, fun show that's not too serious. It's not too dark. It's just an enjoyable show to binge watch. I'm gonna give it a C+. So what do you think? Tell me what your thoughts are down below about season 2 of Raising Dion. Do you think it's better than season 1? What are your theories for season 3? Do you think they're going to expand on that scientific discovery that they made during the season about what they can do with the people's powers? Do you think the Crooked Man is going to be even a bigger villain in season 3? Like the video, subscribe to my channel to join the family, and hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos. I hope everyone has a good day. Be well, and you can check out more right now.